well, that's like, when was that? March maybe or something?
March? First week of March?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say. Sounds about right.
Yeah. So we'll see if I'm still kicking around at that time or not. I'm definitely buying a ticket if I am.
Yeah.
Got a bunch behind you guys. Port side. Yeah. So I'm not entirely sure who's all affiliated with the Raw. I believe it's Frontiers North Adventure is the ones that put it on. I'm not sure if anybody else is involved, but I kind of don't think there is. I don't know how many years they've been doing it either, but people come from all over to just for Raw.
I think the Winnipeg connection is like Raw Almond is like the restaurant.
Oh.
And they do a pop-up restaurant, similar setup to the one here on the fort on the river at the Forks in Winnipeg.
Oh, okay.
Same price, like pretty steep for a ticket, but it's worth it from what I hear. Really cool experience.
Yeah.
It's always a unique building design as well.
Yeah, a lot better if you're already here or if you live here. Well, but I mean, people flying from. I mean, then that's really steep.
Yeah.
Coming for some dinner. Who is out here saying that they met somebody at Raw, and because you sit down, they have, so I think it's a week, is it, or 5 days or something of dinner service, and they'll do 2 a night, I believe. But you're just paired up with random people, so there's only X amount that are coming in per service. And it's just people from who knows where, right? And you just sit and you get to chat. And one of the guests we had on the boat was saying they're chatting with somebody and asked, so how'd you guys, because it's weird, right? Like, how'd you find out about this? Not a lot of people even know about Churchill, let alone then know about Raw and Churchill. And there's a lady, and she said for her birthday, her present was dinner whenever, wherever she wanted. So she picked Raw. Yeah, and they flew into Churchill for that dinner. Like, that's pretty cool. Oh, Cloud got a link up. I think so. I'll maybe look at it later, but if I'm guessing right, it's YouTube. It's probably their promotional video. I've seen that last year. It's really cool. Oh, we got one now, right behind us, following the boat. Yeah, big beluga. Oh, a couple boats. That looks like Sam Hearn.
Oh, yeah.
And then, hey?
Lazy Bear?
Yeah, and then I don't know what the other one, if that'd be a Sea North or another Lazy Bear boat. Making their way out here. I don't know if they're doing tours anymore at the fort or if they've shut it down for the season. Got a bunch way out here too. I got another one right behind us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right there. Whoa.
See some pictures coming in. Yeah, cruising with a pod of whales, hey, it's such a weird thing when you think about it. Yeah, they just pop up out of nowhere. No, not even for a minute. It's never the same. That's part of it too, right? Like it's exciting just to be with the whales, but each day is different. There's lots of days out here that are memorable. Something.
Super lucky. I think. When was it? Like July? You were here last?
Yeah, end of July.
Yeah, and we were just in the estuary with Celine, and what do you think it was? Like 14? That huge pod?
She said it was about 16, yeah.
16 belugas. Like she was just
Really?
trolling, and they were just behind us nonstop.
That's awesome.
It was
Bachelor.
bachelor pod.
That's cool.
Yeah.
If you guys do go kayaking, so I haven't been out yet, but I just got some advice. Paddle backwards.
Yeah.
Because then the whales, they like to follow you. So if you're paddling backwards, then you're getting like a head-on encounter. But 16 whales around a kayak, that's got to be different, eh? And they're about the same size as the kayak.
It was a lot.
Yeah, an adult male will get up to 3,300 pounds.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot of mustache.
And you're seeing them now, like there's some big beefy ones in here. They got on their bellies running like on either side parallel with their body. It's called, well, I've only read it as a rail, but it's like fat stores. And some of them you just see when they're arching to go back in, you just see these big, huge out the sides. Yeah, like it seems like from compared to, I'd be able to say if I'm out here next year, I'd probably be more aware of it, but it seems to be like they've fattened up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm still surprised that the calves are as small as they are. To think that they're going to do this migration way up north. They're so tiny. Southern Girl's wondering how we do that process. So luckily for me this year it was lots of help from other people. I go and have meetings with some people in town and we talk about guests or potential guests, or I was just poking and prodding at Grant a little bit, seeing if he had anybody in mind out of the study center. So same with the parks. We had a lot of people from parks. Luckily they showed a lot of interest in coming out, so that was interesting. Once we kind of got the ball rolling there, we had Heather McLeod out first, and then she put me in touch with a lot of the summer students, and well, I guess Karen actually was out first. Blackburn from Parks. Yeah, she was out before Heather, I think. Yeah, we had a lot of guests from Parks this year, a few people from around town. You get chatting to Sea North, and sometimes that was Jonas, the vet. He comes to town a couple times a year. He's from Winnipeg, I believe, and does work with the sled dogs and stuff in town. I just heard through Sea North is how I got introduced to him. So yeah, no, it's a lot of people that are thankfully taking an interest in the boat, and it's a lot easier than you think. You don't have to do too much sweet talking to get somebody out on the Beluga boat to come check out a bunch of whales. And how fast is the boat going? So I've talked about that a little bit. I think part of the reason that we get such a good response from the whales and they like to follow us and spend time with us, the whales will average 3 to 9 kilometers per hour, just, traveling like they are in and around the estuary. Our boat, based off the GPS that I have out here every day, we are around 4 to 4.5 kilometers per hour. So we're kind of right in that sweet spot where it's really easy for the whales just to hang out with us. They don't have to exert themselves or work hard or anything to keep up with the boat. It's just a casual pace for them. And the largest pod I've encountered, earlier in the year we had a couple of, actually I think it was 4 or maybe 5 days where it was just feeding every day, and we were out by Cockles Point and just head out there and there are just hundreds of whales feeding. That was the most I've seen like in one area all at once. There's no way, I just say hundreds, there's no way I could really estimate estimate how many there were. But that was really neat. So yeah, they're all chowing down there, and it was, yeah, I figured the first time we seen it, I was like, oh my god, you know, I couldn't believe it, and I just figured we were hitting the lottery. We just jackpot within the next day, and then the next day, and the next day, and yeah, it just must have been a lot of fish moving through. But we've had days too where we've easily seen hundreds of whales. It's just not all congregated in one group. You just get a whole pile of them following you, and they're coming and going all day long. So I appreciate the questions, you guys. It's always nice to hear from everybody tuning in. I'll do my best to answer them, but you guys are actually really good for helping out as well, if there's stuff that I don't know.
I think the thing with coming on the boat too, it's like a bad day on the water is better than a good day, you know, in the office. Like
Yeah.
any chance for, you know, locals to just get out in the water, a little bit more experience seeing whales, and
Yeah.
you know, you learn a bit more from people, like from yourself or whatever, and people like viewers obviously, and just a good chance to be out and fall more in love with Churchill, I think.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, like a part of this summer is just, I mean, I know so much more about the town or what it's all about based off of the guests that we've had out, and it's so varied. It's not like you're having, I mean, there's a lot of facts, a lot of things that we'll go over fairly often, but it's always different takes on it, or different people's opinions, or different experiences, and yeah, it's really interesting having everybody out here. And then, like you said, yeah, I mean, if I wasn't here, I'd be at home laying brick. So this is, yeah, a good or a bad day out here is definitely better than a good day of laying brick at home. We're getting around that time, actually. That went quick. Have a couple more minutes, then we'll probably have to beetle in. Once we're out this far, we have a little more of a journey to get back to launch. Tide will be headed out, so it might be choppy. It's nice that it picked up, though. Yeah, we got, yeah,
Unreal.
yeah, and we scored another, day in the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yesterday must have sucked.
It wasn't, I mean, once you get the chill, I felt bad because Danny was sitting there and she was just getting hammered. Thomas had a nice little shield.
Yeah.
We were getting splashed pretty good. I was soaked. And then once we got downstream, then we turned around and went with the waves. It wasn't as bad, but the wind was picking up. It was cool. It was chilly. I was very happy they were willing to stick it out, though. And they came dressed up pretty good.
Study center staff, like field technicians, they're
As
pretty
tough as it gets.
pretty prepared for
Pretty hardy.
whatever it takes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so I was happy, and I really enjoyed talking with them as well, too. So, I mean, and then the conditions, but we had nice whales. We had a lot of them around. I know visibility was down, but considering what it was like out there, it turned out to be a pretty good day. And then, yeah, I just thought, no way I'll be wearing t-shirts out on the boat anymore, but here we are. Just keep getting lucky, and it's supposed to get warm again after the rain.
So what are you up to for bear season?
I don't know, we're chatting about it. I think I'll be around.
Yeah.
Yeah, so which is exciting because I came last year in November and it was a late freeze up, so there was still bears around, but we were only in town when I got to Churchill, we were only in town for a couple days, and then we were out in the bush. Yeah. So I got to see a few bears, and by that time the season was pretty well over, so there wasn't a lot of tourists around, but now I'm excited if I get to see in town, you know, what it's like through bear season. Talking to everybody, it doesn't seem like, I mean, this is busy, everyone's been racing around, everyone's working hard, working every day, but when you talk to them, it doesn't sound like they're resting from the work they've already done. It seems like they're just resting to amp up for what's to come.
I think like the one thing too, like in town I've noticed compared to last summer, there's a lot less foot traffic, it seems. Like I think a lot of the people who come up and are a little more active and a little more willing to get out and see town, are those who come up on the train.
Yeah.
And they kind of have a few less plans, so to speak, so they're more willing to be visible, I guess you could say, and not cooped up in their hotel or out on a tour somewhere,
Yeah.
kind of not in town. So, but in bear season, it's you see a lot of people, a lot of buses around, and lots happening, and always people out and about looking to have a good time. And
Yeah. Well, I'm excited because it's going to be you're going to see a lot of the same people in town, but there's going to be new ones coming in for work-wise, and then just I like meeting new people, so I'm excited. All the tourists coming into town, and
really good energy around town too for a couple of weeks. I mean, it's exhausting for sure, but you love it. You got to be a little crazy, I think, to work up here in bear season. But
well, it's one of those things. When it's all said and done, that's a big whale behind you guys.
Whoa. Oh my god.
He is huge. You can see his rails from under here.
Yeah, look. What's that? Whoa.
Getting a quick visit here for a couple. That was a big whopper.
Those rails, on the back there. You can see that,
Can't remember what I was going to say there.
Looks like a flexing. Oh, right here. 1, 2, 3.
There we go.
Looks
Yeah,
like
that
it's
one's
flexing.
big. Yeah.
Oh, right here.
Um,
Wow.
It's just like anything that's hard and a struggle. I mean, most times, if it's anything worth doing, it's difficult. And you're grinding through it, and it could be tough, and you have your doubts at times, but then all said and done, like when, the dust clears or dust settles, you're happy, right? You got that big smile on your face. It was worth it. It was worth all the work involved. I always say that about mountain biking. I always reference it just because I do so much of it, but you're wondering, what the heck am I doing climbing this mountain? The payoff is on the way down, though, and it's all worth it. Oh, you got quite a few around us now. They like and make it tough for us to leave.
They must have heard you say we should go.
I know. Oh yeah.
Got some dudes.
Holy whole pile of photos just popping up here.
Go get some grub. Regroup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you make some or buy some?
Buy some tundra.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a whale watching tradition, I think. For me, at least.
Okay.
Another one's still back there, it looks like, or
I would be down to make
For sure.
oh, I got one underneath us. So nice and shiny now that they're done molting, eh? Alright, well I think we should start to make a go of it. Gonna pull up the underwater cam here and we're gonna head back to launch. and we'll try to head over towards the Cape Mary there, see if we can spot the Marine Observatory, the location. I think it's a little wavier on that side though, so we'll see how close we can get. Man, the waves are moving, eh?
Yeah.
You don't realize how fast they're going. Wannabe Traveler mentioned, yeah, the mountain bike trails in Cumberland. I went, I didn't do a lot of hiking there. I just went and was cruising around last January when I was on Vancouver Island. It's part of the trails that they do for the BC bike race. Is one of the stops is in Cumberland. I've always wanted to go biking there. I've heard it's phenomenal. I didn't realize they had 60 kilometers of trails, so that's pretty impressive. We've done lots in Squamish, Pemberton, and Whistler area too, and I love that place. If I ever was gonna move to BC, I'd hope for the island or around Squamish area. I was just reading the comments.
What's that?
I'm just reading the comments to see if there's anything I could chat about on the way. Southern Girl said she was hoping that it was a raffle system is how we got the guests. I was actually thinking that it'd be cool. I figured if there was anybody viewing or to come out on the boat if you're ever in Churchill, I think that'd be really fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that'd be a pretty cool experience. Especially I've become so familiar with so many of the people that are tuning in on a daily basis. It'd be neat to meet somebody. Alright, well hopefully we don't lose a signal, but we're getting close to that area. You can see, well I could see, I'm not sure. Might be really tough in the in the camera, but there's a white trailer. And that's the area that they've blasted and cleared away for the observatory. I'll see if I can kind of line it up so that the trailer will be, from where you guys are looking, it'll be in line with the far right hand side of the gallery in the background. And maybe that'll make it easier to spot that trailer. So if you guys can still hear me out there, the white trailer is on the far right hand side of the gallery, just below it. It's kind of right in line, so I'll start to head a little bit closer, but like I said, we got that rock point out there and a few things that I'll want to be steering clear of, but we can get a little closer. Might be tough to see, but yeah, it's like a white semi-trailer. So yeah, super tough to see. I don't want to get too much closer. Straight ahead, basically. Probably not the view everybody was hoping for, but kind of tough to see. They had large rubber mats made out of old car tires, and they're blowing the rock and flattening out a big area up there by Cape Mary, where they'll be building the observatory. So they used those mats to lay over top, and then they blew the rocks underneath just so they wouldn't have debris and shrapnel blasting out all over the place. It would help to kind of contain it. I'm just going to head back over towards the buoys where I know it's a safe travels. Hopefully you guys we're still online. Got a newer viewer, it looks like. Oh, sorry, I'm just bouncing around here. It's tough to read the name. Mickian, is that right? ATL? Welcome to Beluga Cam, and sorry about your new addiction. Introduce it to your boss too, and then you can't get in trouble if you guys are both tuning in. So we were kind of, I was looking towards the point there, Eskimo Point, and I was watching it as we were out there, and I wasn't spotting any bears. We're kind of past that point now. I see this comment just popped up. We'd have to actually go back to Eskimo Point. Oh, we're getting some big rollers coming in here. They're going faster than we are in the boat, and we're moving along at a pretty good clip right now. It's crazy how quick these waves are going. We got one catching up to us now. We're surfing. You could feel it pushing us. Actually not rough at all right now. The tide will be headed out, and seems different each time we come through. Sometimes we get some rough waters, and today it's, aside from these big rollers, it's pretty calm.